Hi everyone, it's Derek here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm also Scotty Lad 2 of the Mr. Excel message board forums and also Scotty Lad 2 of the Excel forums. Both these places, great resources if you want to know Excel. MrExcel.com, over 500,000 threads started there. Over 2,700,000 and odd replies. Get yourself registered, ask a question, got some of the best Excel brains in the world on that site. You get answered very quickly. And if you go back, if I take you back a page, it'll tell you right now there's 966 people viewing that board, so put a question on there, you can answer quite quick. Same can be said for the Excel forum. At the moment, 560 odd viewing on there. So obviously a newer site, there's 150 odd thousand threads, again 600,000 replies. Same thing, get yourself registered, make a post. We've got some fantastic people answer your questions very quickly, give you difference between these two sites. This one, the Excel forum, allows you to submit an attachment. So some people, it's quite hard to describe what they need back from their sheet or their worksheet. They can put an attachment on here with no formulas, but give some information within their post what they want, and people will work on it. Again, both these sites, all free, great resources. The last one I'm going to mention just now is Mike Girvin's site, the Excel is Fun channel. I mean, most of what I know about Excel I've learnt watching these videos. If you prefer to watch. I also now contribute as well as ask questions on these forums. Three fantastic resources. Mike has over 1700 videos. Most of them are sort of 10-20 minutes. Anything you want to know, let's say we want to know about the match function, you can come here, click on uploads, type in, we just want to know the match, and you'll get video after video of match and how to use it within other formulas. So great resources, ones to keep in your resource notebook if you get stuck. The last video I made was 25 minutes long, almost, or just over, and within that I used the match function tied up inside an offset function. I never really had time to go into all the formulas I used. There was about 6 or 7 in total. So quickly going to show you what the match function does. Essentially what it does is it lets you look up a value, and in this scenario here, if we were to look up army from this lookup array, this is a lookup array here. Lookup array can be a single row or a single column. It could actually just be a cell if you wanted to, with no parameters. But in the use that I made of it, we matched army to tell the offset where it was going to be looking for. So let's just do that. Say equal match, and our lookup value, well, your lookup value can be in a cell. And most of the lookup functions, when you look up an item, for instance here we're looking up army, like so VLOOKUP would come down this column, find army, and you would then return something from another column within that table array based on where army was. So for instance we maybe want to return price, or if we looked up trousers blue using the VLOOKUP, we would return the price for there. Match is slightly different. You look up match, or you have your lookup value, which in our case is going to be C1, and our lookup array is here. And what match does, it returns Now these arguments here, before we're going on, these arguments at the end, for the moment we're going to stick with exact match. If you're looking up text, it's always going to be an exact match. If you're looking up numbers, anything numeric, these items here come into play, as does the sort in your data. So for a moment I'm not going to concentrate on them, I'm just going to look at this exact match. We're looking up text, and what match does, it returns the ordinal position of the value you're looking up from within the array you're looking it up in. So if we hold control, tap enter, you'll see match is at position number 9. So if we count down there, in fact if I just number these, it might make it easier. So we have 22 items in this list. All we were going to look up with match was the starting point for the offset. Because of the way this data is set up, we can look up, say, navy, and navy's in position number 2 from in here, and all we were doing was looking up where this item was within this array. Now we used it with the offset function. If I give you an example of offset equals offset, and our starting position for the offset function was going to be here. Hit F4 because we want to lock that cell, and we're going to stay. Our offset is always going to be counting from there. If we were looking up navy, well, that wouldn't work. We're going to get an error with that, and I'll show you why in a moment. When we find the word navy, we want to return, for this lookup here, trousers. And offset lets you define a range, define a size, a box, a container. You define that in memory, and the offset will retain that in memory. So when you're looking up and matching navy, it's going to go down these columns and return the container based on where navy is, or based on where army is. And the container for trousers was just these two here. For shirts, it was going to be the next two down. So the first argument in the offset is, where do you want to start? We want to start there, H1. The next argument is, how many rows do you want to go down? Well, we're going to match navy, but if we just put the word navy down, it's going to error out, and I'm going to show you erroring. How many columns do we want to go left or right from where we're starting? Well, none. So we can either leave that argument altogether. I like to put 0 in, and then I know I've not forgot it. And how big is the range going to be? This is what these last two arguments are for. The height of it. But if you look at height of, when we get a match for trousers, our height there is going to be 2 rows high, and the width of it is only going to be 1 column wide. We can actually leave these arguments out, they're optional. If you leave it out, it's only going to return a single row, but we need 2, and then we can close it off. We can forget about the height argument. Now straight off this is going to error, and it's going to error. If I press F9, it's not going to find anything, and that's because we're telling it to look up navy, what's in here, but it doesn't actually know where navy is in this range. We have to tell it where it is. And when we look up army, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, well, it's going to be there on row 9, so we have to tell it to go to row 9, and the way to do that is we invoked the match function. So the same argument as the same we've just written, say match. I'm going to match whatever's in the cell here, lock that, comma, from within F4, comma, 0, and close that. Again, I'm still going to get an error message because we're looking up something that's 2 rows high, so we're not going to find, it can't put 2 rows into 1 row here. But I can do them there. Now, the thing about the offset is it will start counting from exactly where you tell it. We don't want it to start counting from army, we actually want it to go down 1 and start counting from there. So the way to fix that is just add a plus on to the end of the match formula, and we're going to plus 1. Again, press enter, and now when I hit F9, you see it's going to look down that column, find army, and go down. The plus 1 will make it go down to here, and it's given us our two selections there. Control Z to come out of that. If we change army to navy, again hit F9. Navy's got blue and black trousers on there. Hit F9. Sorry, hit. Highlight that. Tap F9, and you'll see it's given us the blue and black trousers. So there's match within the offset function. You can use it for lots of other things, but generally that's what it's going to do. It's going to return to you an ordinal position of whatever it is you're looking up. Now, let's just say we're looking up navy and navy's not there. If I just delete that, it's going to throw you up a not available error. You can write error messages in so that doesn't happen as well. So there you go, just a quick look at what match does.